Miss Croft, you have a vacation home everywhere, don't you?
This house used to belong to Alister's family. My parents became close friends with his parents when they were still alive, and it was their will that we take over their house if the Fletcher family should ever die out. Now both Alister and his parents are dead, and since he didn't have any siblings, cousins or children, the house now belongs to us.
Interesting. How did you even get to know the family?
That would never have happened if it weren't for the plane crash my mother and I survived when I was 9 years old. We were on the way to Alaska to meet my father at an archaeological site.
Just because no one's ever caught one, doesn't mean they're not real.
Some people say they live in Alaska, just where we're going. I've always hoped to encounter one of these fierce beings.
Yet they are not fierce. I'm sure they only look fierce because they're annoyed by the freezing weather around them.
You can ask them as soon as we're in Alaska, if you find any.
Look.
Oh God, no!
Henry, what happened?
I had an orgasm while flying and have lost control. Please stay seated.
Are we going to crash?
Not if we throw out as much weight as possible. Why didn't you reduce weight as I told you?
No, we are losing altitude.
So my fat ass will cause the plane to crash. I'm so sorry.
That's what you get for not listening to your parents. Happy now? You're fired. Do you hear me, Henry? You're fired.
Mother, calm down. He is already in heaven.
Then I hope God will never hire him as a pilot because I'm not keen on getting killed by a plane falling out of the sky.
And what now? It's cold. I think I'm starting to look like a yeti.
I'm glad you didn't listen to me when I told you to reduce weight. Your fat ass will keep you warm to some extent. Now come, let's look for a village or something.
And then you left the crash site and found this house.
After a few hours, yes. My mother was almost frozen when we got here and had to thaw in front of the chimney fire, while I was sitting right here, meeting Alister. Have you ever tried to stick a long piece of wood into your ass?
No. Why?
It's fun, you should try it. Just don't let your parents catch you, they don't like it. Sometimes I do it with my mother's high heels, or with the fire hook my father uses to stir the fire in the chimney, which my parents would like even less, but they haven't found it out yet.
What's the name of this place? Where are we?
Melnikov Island, Bering Sea. You're lucky your plane didn't fall into the freezing cold water. There's no way you could have survived that.
Why would a British family move to an island in the Bering Sea?
My parents are historians and want to learn everything about this island. They think the secret of teleportation is to be found here. I want to be a historian too when I'm older, but back in good old England, not in this hostilized desert.
You don't like it here?
Not at all, to be honest. This is not an appropriate environment for a child to grow up, unless you're an Eskimo. There are only very few other children here, hardly enough to fill a school class, and I don't see them often. I'm sure I wouldn't be so lonely if we had stayed in Oxford.
Let me give you a little advice. If you want to find friends, no matter where you live, don't tell everyone you stick objects into your ass, and don't ask others if they do it too.
Why not? Do you think they might avoid me because of it?
Let's just say, it's a pretty strange habit.
When did you see him again? Only many years later, after the South Pacific incident. I broke into the Louvre because I wanted to take a closer look at an ancient throwing star. I already knew it by that time, and he helped me by hacking into the museum's security system and switching off the alarm as well as the cameras. It was our first mission together. Time for the Chirurgi to get out of there. It won't take long. Just make sure you keep the security system under control. I didn't know Alister was there for exactly the same reason that evening. He was interested in the CmA too, and he got it first. Despite all the preparations it had made, the security personnel eventually caught us and we had to flee. In the beginning I didn't even recognize Alister, and you all would be stunned if you had seen what kind of guy he was back then. He was not the same an anxious person you used to know, which he only became after his studies. He got away with the CmA and I met him again at the Oxford University, where he told me he had known right from the beginning who I was. I told him about my plans to become an adventurer, an explorer of the ancient world. He got very excited about it and said he would love to support me. That was, more or less, the beginning of our collaboration. Good God, it's hard to believe for how long I've known Alister.
You're talking about his former self as if you had been in love with him.
That's preposterous, but it wouldn't make any difference to you, would it? Or are you jealous?
Why should I be jealous of a gay guy?
Maybe because I would rather sleep with a gay guy 1,000 times than only once again with you.
Don't start with that again.
That's what I was going to say. They will never stop. I can't see them working together on our mission, without their personal conflicts.
How true. Fuck. As if it was not enough that the ugly carpet has followed me to the northern end of the world, now we have fights as well, and our enemies are not even here yet.
I can't understand what you hold against this carpet. I think it looks very beautiful.
Yeah, that's because you have no fucking idea of what is beautiful and what is not.
Oh, really?
Bunny is right. The carpet is ugly. It's cold. I prefer beautiful and warm places.
No one stops you from going back to CmA. Why did you even want to come here with us?
Hey, it was Mr. Jones' decision that we all go together, not mine.
I dislike repeating what I said, but past, present, and future couples are simply not qualified for going on such a mission together.
I don't even dare to imagine what would happen if my ex-boyfriend and Felix join Unity as well.
It wouldn't even surprise me though. Joining Unity seems to have become popular among our friends, or ex-friends.
Indeed, I've noticed that too. By the way, talking about Felix, what is he doing at the moment?
He wanted to come with us, but I didn't want Heather to be all alone, so I told him to stay at home with her. Even if that means I'll have to go without his kisses and his penis for the next days. I'm such a good Samaritan, aren't I?
No doubt about that. What was that? Does anyone else live here?
If so, Laura didn't mention it.
Calm down, it's just me.
Amelia? How did you get here?
And why? This is an assignment for Unity, not a holiday trip.
I know, but I've always wanted to see a Sasquatch.
A what?
A Sasquatch.
Are you sure you don't mean a Yeti?
Whatever. It would be so great. But I know you wouldn't have allowed me to come with you, so I've been following you secretly. Mother. Don't give me that look. This is also my house. I can stay here whenever I want. Yes, and you will stay here, in this house. Don't even think of accompanying us on any of our trips. I don't want to see you in danger again like with Smithy a few days ago. I'm not planning to have any more blind dates, at least not here. All I want is to see a Sasquatch. Or a Yeti. And my brooch.
Brooch?
Yes, the one I was wearing during our flight to Alaska. I thought I had lost the brooch in this house, but always forgot to look for it when we came here to visit the Fletchers. But now I have looked for it and it's not here, which means I might have lost it at the crash site. So what? So what, you ask? That's a very valuable family heirloom. I want it back. You don't even need it. No, but I can sell it. And therefore you would be ready to walk all the dangerous way back to the crash site again? Are you even sure the wreck of our old plane is still there? I'll see about that as soon as I'm there myself. You're crazy. Don't talk to your mother like that. It doesn't need to bother you or any of your friends. You just take care of your business, and meanwhile I go back to the crash site and see if I can find my brooch.
But I hope your plan can still wait until tomorrow. It's already getting dark outside.
Of course. By the way, Lara, how will you manage to get us all a place to sleep? This house has only 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, for 9 people. For 8 people, if you hadn't spontaneously decided to join us. Don't make such a fuss. We still have this living room, and the kitchen. And who wants to sleep in the kitchen, on the counter, knowing that there are much more comfortable beds upstairs? How about you? The guest is king. You can sleep on the kitchen counter.
When Larson is not there, she starts arguing with her mother. Unbeat.
Did anyone call me?
He said Larson, not Ken Snow.
Everything is fine as long as I don't have to sleep in one of the rooms with the carpet.
Don't start with that again. You annoy me.
That wasn't a compliment,
You
my
annoy me
dear.
a whole lot
It was
more.
so
Your
nice
friend,
outside.
the real
Just
lady,
because you're so
doesn't talk
charming.
like this.
You have this beautiful feeling, this
And you
beautiful
just
heart.
called me dear. Does that mean you feel something for me?
That was not meant to be funny.
Yes, just as everything is
It is well, and the only way to express yourself when you're